And the last entrepreneur, but not entrepreneur, we have Mr. Joseph Nkole from Zambia, who represents the Cotton Farmers Association. 458,000 smallholders of cotton farmers. And of course, cotton is a very important product for many countries, including myself, Egypt. And of course, with the stalled and the impasse in the World Trade Organization's issues of cotton, the inability of farmers to export their cotton to foreign markets because of the high subsidies, etc., has become a big issue and has, in a way, impacted directly on the small farmers. So issues of great magnitude in the WHO do affect the daily subsistence of many farmers. Mr. Joseph Nkole, the floor is yours. Please give us that experience. Merci.
Thank you, moderator. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am from Zambia. My full names are Joseph Nkole, as has been indicated. I'm the CEO for a farmer organization, the Cotton Association of Zambia. I do not have anything I would say about Zambia. It's a very quiet, very democratic country, and we're not very popular, except this year we miraculously won the Africa Cup. With cotton, in the region, we are one of the two major producers of cotton. And with regard to what we're here to talk about, duty-free and quota-free market access for us has not been enough to empower farmers and to reduce their poverty. Cotton from our country enters freely important markets such as Bangladesh, India, Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. But this has not reduced the poverty of the 458,000 smallholder farmers. Zambia's population is 12 million, and we have a dependence ratio of 1 to 8 in a family. So we are actually talking about close to 3.5 million people, about 40% of that country's population, directly and indirectly dependent on cotton. So it's an important commodity to us. And we are forever grateful to the International Trade Center for having exposed us to a lot of training events under the South-to-South cooperation, because we have been able to address some of the key issues that have hampered our breaking through to realize the potential of the farmers' labor in terms of profitability, raising their incomes and reducing their poverty. What happens in Zambia is that cotton is one very unquestioned story of great success towards a market economy. And we are more than convinced that a market-oriented approach, more than the trade barriers and things that we're talking about, would help Zambia. This is fundamentally because in Zambia, cotton is produced by those smallholder farmers under contract farming for multinational companies that export the entire production. For last year, we produced 145,000 metric tons, and it's all exported. And for us, under the theme, that means the jobs are exported. So there is no job creation. The textile industry in Zambia is non-existent, so there are no jobs being created. We have a situation, therefore, that calls for greater things to do in the country than to address the barriers. We have the COMESA and SADC protocols that relate to reducing the barriers. But from one border of Zambia to another border into Malawi, it is difficult to trade in cotton, it is a lot easier to trade in second-hand clothes. We have, therefore, been very grateful, like I've said, that in the absence of a national system that grows cotton indigenously, the multinationals have exported all the cotton and its value to those markets that I've already mentioned. But since 2006, we've been working with the ITC under the South-to-South cooperation in training events that have exposed us to the entire value chain of cotton. And we've realized there are certain things that farmers are able to do to add value to cotton, that they can start to create employment. And true to this, we've now managed to get a itinerary for the farmers, but again through the same interactive actions in India at Nagpur. So there is now a cotton farmer-owned itinerary that has created jobs. Again, we are trying to focus that women will play a key role in this activity. So what have we been able to do as a result of the problems that we have been facing with regard to cotton production, enhancing production and productivity, empowering the farmers, creating the transparency between the farmers and the ginners and the traders and merchants of cotton, quality control and value addition. This, like I said, we have learned from India, from Bangladesh, from Turkey, and now we have a situation where we are able to address some of these issues. We are continually worried about the cotton subsidies in the West, the United States. They're almost stagnating Doha round of talks on cotton. I mentioned that we have a population of 12 and 3.5 of those are dependent on cotton. So we would be greatly facilitated if the Doha round of talks on cotton could come out fruitfully for us to start to see reduced subsidies on a smaller number of farmers in the United States compared to the huge numbers that we have in Africa and in the region. Somewhere in our region, Southern African regions, about 12 million farmers. The trade barriers in the region I've talked about are supposed to be ameliorated by the SADC and COMESA protocols. Unfortunately, these function only at government minister to minister. At the border posts, the customs official don't seem to understand this. And so they flag a document in your face that says another 25% duty on the products. We have low investment. Again, now we are looking for institutions that are going to help Zambia develop the public-private partnerships to try and realize the potential of the huge production of cotton into our local textiles and probably create jobs and reduce on the poverty. We have, dear moderator, benefited from the trainings of ITC. We have managed to reduce potentially the problems that the farmers faced because they were hired to grow a crop whose lint went to China, Bangladesh, or Thailand. Beautiful garments and shirts made, exported into Europe, worn for 3-4 years, bundled up, and we receive them as second-hand clothes to wear. And we hope that the trade barriers that continue to allow second-hand clothes into Africa can be stopped so that Africa can start to grow its own cotton and produce its own clothes to wear and thereby create jobs. If I had a long period to address you, I would have said trade barriers have not created a lot of goods for our region. Our cotton travels freely, but our farmers continue to be poor. Allow me, Mr. Moderator, to leave you with one quotation from former American President Ronald Reagan, who said, "The most terrifying English words are, I am from the government, and I'm here to help." Thank you very much.